Can a mongoose really survive a cobra bite? The answer is yes, but not for the reason most people think. A mongoose is not completely immune to cobra venom. It can still be injured, and a serious bite can still kill it. What makes the mongoose so dangerous to a cobra is a combination of speed, behavior, and a very unusual biological defense. To understand that, we first need to understand what cobra venom does. Many cobras produce powerful neurotoxins. These toxins target the nervous system. They interfere with the signals that travel between nerves and muscles. If enough venom reaches the body, muscles can stop working normally. Breathing can become difficult, and without treatment, the bite can become fatal. For many animals, that makes a cobra extremely dangerous. But the mongoose has been living around venomous snakes for a very long time, and that created strong evolutionary pressure. Any mongoose that survived a snake encounter had a better chance of passing its genes to the next generation. Over thousands of generations that can produce remarkable adaptations. One of the most famous is found in the receptors that cobra neurotoxins try to attack. Normally, a toxin works by attaching to a very specific one. Think of it like a key fitting into a lock. The cobra toxin is the key. A receptor on the animal's cells is the lock. If the toxin fits correctly, it can interfere with normal nerve and muscle function. But in some mongooses, that lock is slightly different. The receptor has changed enough that certain cobra toxins cannot attach as easily. The key still reaches the lock, but it does not fit nearly as well. That could dramatically reduce the effect of the venom. And this is where many people make a mistake. They hear that the mongoose resists cobra venom and assume the animal cannot be poisoned. That is not true. Resistance is not immunity. The toxin may have a harder time working, but enough venom can still overwhelm the animal. And not every snake venom works in exactly the same way. A mongoose that has good resistance to one type of neurotoxin may be much more vulnerable to a different venom mixture. This means the mongoose's first line of defense is not actually its biology. It is avoiding the bite. Mongooses are incredibly fast. During a confrontation, they do not simply stand in front of the cobra and absorb attacks. They watch the snake carefully. They react to tiny movements. And when the cobra strikes, the mongoose can move out of the way in a fraction of a second. The cobra has speed too. A strike can happen almost instantly. But the mongoose uses repeated movement to force the snake to attack and miss. Every missed strike costs energy. The snake must reposition. The mongoose keeps watching. Then it moves again. This creates a dangerous rhythm. Strike, dodge, reposition, strike again. The mongoose is trying to create an opening. And eventually, if the opportunity appears, it may attack the snake's head. That is another reason the mongoose has such a strong reputation. It is not just resistant to venom. It is also a skilled snake fighter. The fight is still dangerous. One mistake can change everything. If the cobra manages to sink its fangs deeply into the mongoose and deliver a large dose of venom, the situation becomes much more serious. The amount of venom matters. A quick defensive bite may deliver less. A full bite can deliver much more. The size of the cobra matters too. A large cobra may be capable of injecting a much larger dose than a smaller snake. The location of the bite can also matter, and the health of the mongoose changes the outcome. A strong adult may handle the encounter better than a young, injured, or weakened animal. So what happens if the mongoose actually gets bitten? Sometimes it survives and continues fighting. Sometimes it becomes weak or disoriented. And in severe cases, it can die. This is why videos of mongooses fighting cobras can be misleading. We often see the successful encounters. The mongoose dodges repeatedly. The snake misses. The mongoose attacks. And it looks almost invincible. But natural selection does not create perfect animals. It creates animals that survive often enough to reproduce. The mongoose does not need to survive every cobra bite. It only needs enough advantage to make these encounters more survivable than they would be for other animals. And its receptor changes are not the only interesting part of venom resistance in nature. Other animals solve the same problem differently. Possums can carry molecules in their blood that neutralize some venom components. Certain rodents have evolved resistance to rattlesnake venom. Honey badgers also appear to have changes in receptors targeted by some neurotoxins. Different animals reach similar solutions through different evolutionary paths. That tells us something important. Venom is not an unstoppable weapon. The moment a predator evolves a powerful toxin, prey species begin facing pressure to survive it. Individuals with even slightly better resistance have an advantage. Generation after generation, that resistance can become stronger. Then the predator changes too. Venom may become more effective. The prey evolves again. This is an evolutionary arms race. And mongooses and cobras are one of the most famous examples of how dramatic that battle can become. But there is another detail that makes the mongoose even more impressive. Its courage is not the real advantage. Its timing is. The mongoose does not win because it is fearless. It wins because millions of years of evolution shape it. Read a snake's movement, react extremely quickly. It survives some mistakes that would be fatal to other mammals. Those three things work together. Speed reduces the chance of being bitten. Behavior creates opportunities to attack. And biological resistance gives the animal a better chance if the snake does manage to inject venom. Remove any one of those advantages, and the fight becomes much more dangerous. So can a mongoose really survive a cobra bite? Yes, some mongooses can survive cobra venom far better than many other mammals. But they're not immune. A large enough dose can still be deadly. The mongoose survives because it combines resistance with speed and highly specialized behavior. And that may be the most important part of the entire story. The mongoose is not built to survive venom alone. It is built to survive the entire encounter. And once you understand that, another question becomes even more interesting. If the mongoose is not truly immune, what animal comes closest?